What's up? Alireza Firozja cannot play in the fourth round against Fabiano Caruana because he had a problem in his ankle, but they play the game during the rest day. Caruana and Firozja play the game in a hotel room because Firozja cannot move and he play in a bed, and they have the table, and Caruana of course is playing in a chair. So it's not easy to play by Firozja in this position, of course, because playing a bed is not the same that playing over the wall, that you have more concentration in a table, that you are playing a bed and in a very uncomfortable position. But okay, he tried to make that, and he played two games in a bed, one against Sindarov and the other against Caruana. Okay, this was played during the rest day after the round 5. Okay, Caruana opened with knight f3, d5 by Firuzza, c4, and Firuzza decides to go for the semi-slav defense, very solid. D4. I think that if you are playing a bet, you benefit you more quiet game, not very sad, because it's very difficult to calculate while you are playing in a bet. C4, C6, D4, knight F6, E3. This line is very interesting without knight C3, because now if blacks develop with E6, now this knight can go to D2, or here or later after B3 or something like that. But this, or bishop d3 first, but one day this knight could go to e2. So e3 here is a very interesting further. And here bishop f5 is considered the main move. Knight c3, e6, knight h4, going for the bishop pair. And here I prefer the move bishop b4. I think it's more concrete and more aggressive. The idea of bishop b4 is just provoke f3 and get the same position but with f3 mate. And making that, you are forcing more the game, because with bishop g6, white here just have the bishop pair and for nothing. It's slightly advantage, but black have not good counterplay. Here had the machine say more or less the same evaluation with both moves, but with bishop a4 the position is more concrete and white should know more theory than with bishop g6. With bishop g6 is just white is slightly better with any move more or less. But bishop e4 is more concrete, for example, and normally it could be f3 here. Knight takes e4 here is not good, because after d takes e4, the knight is very bad placed on h4. That's why knight takes e4 is not good. f3, bishop g6, and now you can take on g6 directly, but okay, queen b3 is normal. Queen c7, bishop d2, bishop b7. Now it's time to take, and now I can or just take here, or just go no castle, take, and b5, for example. Bishop e2, a6 is a normal possibility. I played two games in, oh no, two no, three games in all this fourth line with black. I have one draw against Gerald Masagen, another draw against Raja Ritvik and Grandmaster of India, and another no, and a win against a player of Alicante. I don't remember his name. Abel, I think his name is Abel. Yes. And once I played Bishop g6 and I lost. And I have another game against Edwin Trust, but I don't remember if with bishop b4 or with bishop g6. But I play this line, of course, with black many times because I play semi-slav. Okay, bishop g6 by Firuzza. Knight takes, pawn takes, bishop d2. Here the main move is knight b7, but okay, bishop b7 is normal. Queen b3, queen c8, short castle. And against long castle, the normal reaction is d takes c4, with the idea of later play b5 and make an attack in the queen side. That's the normal black's plan. Here knight bd7 is not good, because after c takes, the knight is bad placed on d7. This knight in this pawn extractor should go to c6. So that's why black first take on c4. Bishop takes b5, just winning tempos. Bishop e2, and here a5, very good move. Here the plan of a6 followed by c5 is a little bit slow. Here a5 is a stronger, very interesting plan. The idea is play a4, a3, and later knight a6, knight b4. In this position in the main line with bishop b4, for example against bishop d3, I have one game with a5. And the game that I won with black in this position was with a5. The idea is just, like I say, play a4, a3, and take this square for the knight. Okay, then return to the game. So Firuzza made this the correct plan with a5, king b1. And here I prefer directly go with a4, a3, because Firozja play knight a6, but this allows a very good move by Caruana. Here a4 was stronger, forcing the queen to go to c2, and after a3, b3, knight a6, knight a6, when the knight lands on b4, he's going to win another tempo against the queen. For example, 94, 95, it could be a good line for white, but here for black is better because the knight is landing on before with a tempo. What happened with knight a6 first? It's a small mistake because here Caruana made a very good move. Rook c1, placing the rook in the open file, and after a4, he goes back with the queen to d1. If you play a4 in the previous move, the square d1 is not able. So yes, a small inaccuracy by Firozja. a3, b3, and now knight b4 is not coming with a tempo. Queen d7, and now a white plan is just win win space in the center with the pawns or in the king side. Because white has his pieces more or less well placed. So yes, the plan is now just push the pawns. You can play or f4, e4, h4, mm, all the pawns that you advance is fine for white. f4, and during that the black should react in the queens at with any counterplay. Rook b8, defending the pawn. The idea with rook b8 is play c5, g4 by Fabi, still advancing the pawn, c5, g5. And here he played a strange move. He played knight h5, placing bad the knight. I suppose that the idea of this move could be just maybe go short castle one day and avoid h4, h5, or I don't know, maybe now. Yes, I can understand so good this move. I prefer knight d5, placing the knight in the center, because the knight on h5 is going to be a problem in the future. So I think that knight d5 here is the normal move. Takes bishop f3, queen e5, and here this concrete idea of place the queen on h3 is very hard for black. But knight h5, I don't like this move. I think it's very strange to place a knight in the corner and it's not making nothing, especially when you have the square d5 for the knight. Here, Fabiano plays bishop b1, who is a small mistake. Was stronger to play d takes c4, d takes c5, sorry, eliminating the c pawn and opening the d file. Because after knight c5, bishop b1, trying to trade queens, if if black trades queens, here white is completely winning because the knight is completely dead on h5. Black is playing with one piece less, so on the bishop pair. Sorry, the bishop pair here is going to be very, very annoying. And here white is completely winning, but if black tries to keep queens over the board, for example, queen c7 you cannot play because 95, or if queen c6, bishop f3, queen b6, 92, and yes, white position looks completely winning because the black knight is completely misplaced on h5. The problem of bishop e1 by Fabi is that allows c4, creating good counterplay in the queen side. Because here black only hope is to the counterplay in the queen side and try to give checkmate to the king in the queen side. Because in a positional play he's completely lost because his knight is on h5. So black only hope now is attack the white king. That's why it was very, very important to just play the takes c5 first. Okay, bishop e1, c4 by Firuz, a very good move, trying to open the white king. King a1, short castle. Now the black king is safe. That's the idea of have the knight on h5, that now white cannot push h4, h5, opening the h5. So, okay, the knight have an idea on h5, but um, now white, I still preferring white, but black position is more or less safe because the center is closed. And now he's going to attack in the queen side. And 94. That's why it's so important to open the position. When your opponent have pieces so bad placed, it's better to open the position. Bishop e1, c4, king e1, sol castle, 94, normal move. I prefer here Fiusa takes c takes b3, but I prefer rook fc8, just activating the pieces first the Cassian, because okay, now yeah, I prefer this move, just keeping the tension. You have more cards open, but okay, with c takes b3 you are showing your cards and showing what you're going to do. So I prefer a little bit to just place all the pieces currently and later decide if you're going to take on b3 or not. Okay, he take on b3 and later he play rook c8, bishop c3, rook c7, good move, just doubling rooks into the c file. Interesting idea. Here f5 was a strange move, but very interesting too. But okay, it's not easy to play this type of moves. Opening his own king. Rook c7 is fine. Queen d3, queen d5, bishop d2, and now she goes to the attack with rook d c8, bishop f3, and now came the another mistake of Firozja, maybe decisive. Because here, okay, Firozja positionally is bad because he has the knight on h5 completely dead, but he has good attack in the king side, in the queen side, sorry, and the white king is a little bit exposed. So here you cannot go back with the queen to d7 because now the attack is over and white is going to trade pieces and you're going to still with the knight on h5. So black only option is still with the attack. Doesn't matter if you lose or doesn't matter. You should just follow the attack because if you go back with a knight on h5, you are going to lose the game. So here, for example, king h8 is a good move because white is threatening knight f6. This called had check and attacking the queen. So king h5 is a good move, leaving the check on f6. Rook takes, rook takes, and rook f1, for example. Or knight d4 is an interesting move to attack. But okay, white is threatening knight f6, but now we are threatening his queen too. So, for example, if rook c7, bishop takes, king a2, very interesting move, leaving the checks. And now bishop b7 or queen f5 was fine. Yeah, the idea is sacrifice for example, bishop f7, e7 if here knight f6, just knight takes and sacrifice the queen. It's very, very interesting because the a3 pawn is very strong, the knight is coming to c3, the rook is coming to c3, and okay, black just have a bishop and a knight for the queen, but the e3 pawn and the activity of the black pieces are very, very annoying. This was a stronger idea, of course, a knight before is very hard to play, but king h8 is the normal move. But okay, he did the queen, but the problem of go back with the queen here is just now white start to trade pieces, and if the attack is over, white is winning. Like I said, with the knight on h5, your only hope is make checkmate. If you cannot steal with the attack, white is just completely winning. And knight d4, king d2, queen d2, sorry, queen e7, but black have nothing here. The attack is over. And knight c3, queen e6, bishop e2. Yeah, the rest of the move are more or less easy. Here queen b4 was better, trying to still having the knight more or less active, because just with the knight on d8 and then the knight is completely dead there. So bishop b4 to have the knight on e7 was slightly better. But okay, the position is completely winning for white. He have two extra pawns and the knight. Let's see that his knight is still having no squares on h5. So finally he take this pawn, but the knight is still dead on h5, and white have three passed pawns. And finally, after 100 moves, the knight returned from h5, and now the rest was so easy for white. And he finally won the game. So very good game by Fabiano Caruana. Of course, it's very hard for Firozja to play in a bed. Um, and it's very strange to see games playing late in a room. But once in Morocco, in a closed tournament, I played a game in my apartment. Because okay, my opponent cannot play the same day of the round, and we change our game, and we play in my apartment the game. For me, it was a little bit strange, but okay, it was a fun experience, of course. And I get yes, I managed to get all the concentration, and I played a good game. So okay, that's the game of Firuzza and Caruana. We are in the half of the tournament. I'm going to still analyzing the rest of the games of this tournament. I have 6 more games to analyze, so follow me to see all the good games of this tournament. Bye bye.